I'm in the market for new electronics.
Well, sure. Absolutely. Well, let's see here. So I'm actually, like I said, I'm currently in Asia. I'm from America. I'm from St. Louis, but yeah, I'm currently in Manila right now. For me, it's about 11:26
Oh,
in
okay.
the morning. Yeah. Where in the world are you right now? What
I'm
city
in.
or country are you in? You said you're in the
Um,
US, right?
yeah, I'm in Michigan right now. Yeah. Oh, you're in Manila. Yeah, I've been to the Philippines. Not working. I was on holiday. It's a few years ago. Haven't really done Manila except a layover in the airport on the way to Boracay. Have you been
Uh,
there?
yeah. Well, have I
Yeah.
been to Boracay?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, maybe. I don't think I have though. I don't know. I've been in the Philippines over 6 years, so and I've been around the Philippines, been on vacation and stuff, but I don't think I went to Boracay. What were you doing there?
Oh, yeah, I was staying at a resort because I was just splurging. But
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, if you want to splurge. But I was scuba diving there.
Well,
Um,
that's the thing. Yeah, I
yeah.
went I went I went scuba diving shoot a month or so ago with a friend, one of my neighbors here. She went with a couple of friends. I treated her to a little birthday present. Well, we went scuba diving. So yeah, that was one trip, and I'd never been scuba diving before. So I don't know, beautiful waters around here. Yeah.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't been diving for a long while because I mean, I used to go diving all the time before COVID, and then then there was lockdown, and then lockdown, not getting out too much, so I got fat. Couldn't fit into a wetsuit anymore.
There
So
you go.
yeah.
There you go. That happens. That happens to
Yeah.
everyone these
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of dress shirts I'm wearing. Like I'm wearing one right now. Don't have my video on, but anyways, the shirt I have was custom made, and I had it made like years ago. Like shoot, this is probably measured out 5, 10 years ago, something like that. But yeah, I've gained weight over the years. So, and when it was custom made, it fit beautifully, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, now the arms are a bit tight, right? But
Mhm.
that's just how that works. And I'm sure you couldn't. Did you ever get married? You have a
Oh
wedding
no.
dress?
Nope.
Oh no. Okay, I was
I've
gonna
always
say
been happy.
because that's usually how that works. I'm saying if you ever got married, you have a wedding gown that wouldn't work these days, but that's usually how that works. But you dodged that bullet at least for now, right?
Right.
Um, yeah, yeah, I've seen marriage is always a mixed bag, but anyways.
Hmm.
So are you teaching online, or are you looking for online work? Are you looking to go overseas, or what can we do for you?
I think overseas would be best for me. I mean, I've done online work before, like during the pandemic, and I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't really connect with the students on a very personal level. It's like, okay, I'm a very tactile person. Like I have to feel things, and if I'm just like looking at a screen and just typing on a keyboard, I'm not really feeling a student presence. I mean, I did
Right.
what I could,
Sure.
but I didn't feel like I was at my peak as a teacher. I mean, a lot of students do like me and they passed, but I mean, I want to make sure that I'm really, trying to get through to the learners. And
Sure.
that's why I'm not, I don't consider myself to be at my forte when I'm online.
Right. Well, that's it. Now, I mean, I've been in Asia for over 16 years. I was a teacher in Korea for 5 years, 4 years in China. So whenever I'm in the classroom, that's my forte. Yeah, because you get to know your students, and it's a lot more personable, stuff like that. I've done
Mm-hmm.
online as well, but yeah, it's always nice to get in the classroom. I mean, there's pros and cons to both, but work from home, sure, that's awesome. But I personally think the pros and cons, the pros of working in a classroom outweigh the cons. So that's
Yeah.
just my opinion. Did
I
you
have a
did
nephew. Oh,
hmm,
sorry. You go on. I have a
well,
nephew who's
go ahead.
online and he likes it. He's just started doing ESL, but he's not a certified instructor and he doesn't have a degree. But he's online doing like conversational things. But
Hmm.
he likes he's the online guy, not me.
Okay. Yeah. Is he teaching online or is he just a student online? How's that work?
It's a one-on-one student thing that they're just practicing their speaking skills with him.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, as far as overseas, why did you, were you, well, you were in Philippines before, was that just on holiday? Did you work overseas at all before or
Oh,
not yet?
oh yeah, I've been well, this is like my like very rarely like actually live in the US.
Hmm.
I come home to like visit family. Like home is just like right now my sister's house.
Hmm.
That's
Right.
home. Right?
Right.
But yeah, I've been working overseas since 2002. No wait. Yeah, 2002.
Wow.
It's wow, that long. Yeah,
Where to?
a while.
Where'd you ended up going?
Well, I got my start off in Korea. I was there for 2 years. I taught at Hagwon, what was kids club,
Hmm.
and yeah, that was fun. Mostly I taught mostly kindergartners at the time, although there were like other classes with different age groups and a couple of
Hmm.
adult classes too. But
Right.
mostly it was like you know kindergartners. They were fun. They were cute.
Hmm.
Yeah, we played. What did we
Sure.
do? We played. Then
Sure.
and yeah, and then I decided to go for a TESOL certificate with
Okay.
TEFL International, and they had like a variety of locations. One of them was Egypt, but um, hey, I just wanted to go to Egypt and see the pyramids, really.
Sure.
And getting a TESOL certification was the only way I could get my mom to pay for the trip.
Hey, that's it. Well, two for one, huh? So
Yeah,
you got two, yeah, you got two for one. Anyways, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, and then that led to me getting a job teaching in Syria, which at the time, now this was in 2004, Syria was actually a nice place. Um,
Hmm.
I don't recommend trying to go there now, but in 2004, it was a, it was beautiful. I was in Aleppo and it was like you could just smell the air was like
Hmm.
scented with jasmine flowers. It was wonderful.
Beautiful.
And my apartment was actually the upper floor of a villa complex, and it was huge and opulent. And as far as the kids, yeah, I taught kindergartners again. Um, and they were adorable. I well, my most memorable time was like, okay, this was day two at my
Hmm.
job, at my new job,
Hmm. Hmm.
and there was this one little boy. His name was Salim, and he's come over to me, crying, and was like, well, just whimpering, like, Miss. Miss, and I'm like, "Oh, what is it, Salim? What is it, sweetie?" He's like, Miss. And, he kept repeating and coming closer. And I'm like, okay, come on, Habibi, tell me what is the problem? And then, and then all of a sudden he just threw up all over me. It was all over my hair, my
Oh my.
clothes, and yeah, what a memorable second day.
Well, you wouldn't forget it. Yeah, absolutely. Habibi, what is that? Is that Arabic? That's
Yeah,
Arabic, isn't it?
that's Arabic. Yeah, yeah, I picked up
Awesome.
Arabic, and I
You
picked up
speak
Korean when I was in Korea too, but it's been a while since I've lived there, and I've lived in Arab countries for so long that I,
Chukamal? Chukamal. You speak a little bit, Chukum?
yeah, 조금, 한국말
Yeah,
조금.
yeah. But I'm sure
How,
your Korean's better than mine. Like I said, I was in Korea 5 years. How long were you in Korea? How
two,
long? Just two
two,
years? Yeah.
yeah,
And when was this? When were you in Korea?
from 2002 to 2004.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
So you went Syria and then you did Korea. Okay.
I actually went to
Okay.
Korea, then I did Syria. Syria was 2004 until
Mm,
2005.
okay. And what have you been
And
doing? What have you been doing last 15 years?
And then I went to Istanbul for a bit, and then I found out that Istanbul gets cold in the winter, and that was
True
the first
story.
shock. Really cold. I think there was like some freak blizzard that there was like a gust that came from like Russia on down to the Turkish area and or over the Black Sea or something. Anyway, so after getting, and it wouldn't have bothered me so much had, the radiator worked.
Hmm.
But,
Right.
after the seventh time and me getting the flu for another, like the fourth time, then it was like, okay, time to head down south. Um, yeah, the students, they were adult students. Well, I'm putting air quotes around it with the adults because yeah, chronologically they were adults, but most of them mentally or emotionally not so much. They acted like more like middle school kids. Um, with the with their motivational motivation. It was like it was a real shock for me for like adults to be especially since I mean I had adult students in Korea who were adults, and I know how adults are usually in the US, the standard adult. But it was like in Turkey they were just completely immature, and
Well,
it was.
I would argue I would argue that's not alone to Istanbul. I think that's a growing issue these days. I know a lot of quote unquote air quotes adults in America do. I talk to you, I'm like, wait a minute, how old are you? You're acting like you're 14.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm 45. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Anyways, that seems to be a bit of an issue too. It
Yeah.
all over, you know. I think that's a thing. You got to mature, but and how young are you now? How young are you now?
Oh, well, okay, yeah, I'm 50. I just celebrated my 50th birthday September 12th.
You're a ba
So,
you're a ba you're a baby. You're a baby.
oh, well, yeah,
I
thanks.
I
Yeah.
I've done teachers up through 75, so yeah. I mean, once you get to 60, though, it does get a little bit tricky. But yeah, 50, yeah, it's less. That's piece of cake. You
Oh, I
speak
know,
fluent
like,
English. You're American. Yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, like yeah, because it's like like when I was in Saudi Arabia, like I knew that the retirement age is like 60, and so it was like I don't like now I'm turning 50, the clock is ticking. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I'm not as young as I used to be.
Sure, sure. Well, where to this time? I mean, you're pretty darn well traveled. So have you been teaching overseas, or have you been kind of hunkered down in Michigan? You probably hunkered down for the pandemic at least,
Oh no,
probably.
I was in Saudi
No?
Arabia at that time. Nope.
Oh, you're in Saudi?
Um, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So like after Turkey, and I decided to head south, like a bird for the winter, and I was in
Hmm.
Oman. And
Hmm.
then when I was in Oman, Omanis were wonderful. Oman is nice. Yeah, but unfortunately, you see, 6 months into my job, I became really ill, and for some reason, it didn't get any better when I went to their hospitals. So I had to go
Hmm.
home, unfortunately. And that
Hmm.
was a real bummer because, I really loved it there. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Oman, go to Salalah during what they call Kharif season, and Kharif is like their monsoon season. Like I know that Middle East tends to get, like a lot of people tend to think, oh, the Middle East is like all desert. Well, during Kharif season in Salalah, that's when everything is like green, like lush green. It's a, rainy season there. And it's not your typical, it's like so the opposite of like, Saudi weather. Like Saudi is like really, really, really hot. Like
Hmm.
I'm used to it now, but I mean, to anybody who's not lived there, they're not going to be used to it. But so all of the temperatures, especially around Kharif season, or any season, are pretty mild compared to like say like Saudi or Dubai or Abu Dhabi. So, anyways, and the Omanis are really friendly and open, and I started taking I started taking up the students' bribe. I was teaching adults at the time, mostly men.
Right.
And okay, I've never taken a bribe, but this was a really, really good one. Okay, because like a couple of guys they offered me, they were desperate to pass, right?
Hmm.
Get a good grade, and
Hmm.
well, and they offered me a camel.
Oh, what are you
A
gonna do with the
camel.
camel?
Exactly. What was I gonna do with the camel? Can you even? And I'm like trying to. What am I gonna do? Ride to school on a camel? Anyways, later on when I told everybody else about it, they're like, "You could have sold the camel. Look what, because camels cost a lot of money. Like I've seen a camel auction once, and like in the other Gulf areas, like around in Abu Dhabi, and
Hmm.
they pay like millions for a really good healthy camel. Like
So you didn't end up taking the bribe, or because I mean, what,
no,
or you didn't? Hmm.
I didn't. I think I should have because I could have probably been a millionaire and retired.
Is that how it is, huh? Yeah. Well, I
But
don't think that selling a camel would make you a millionaire, but it at least would have gotten you started, maybe, huh? I don't
well,
know.
it depends on the
I don't know.
camel. I mean, it depends on the camel. I did see like the ones in Abu Dhabi go up to like the equivalent of $3 million. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, in those camel auctions, some of those
A camel
sheikhs
goes
in the
for three
Emirates.
million. What? What
Yeah,
the what? The camel would go for $3 million?
yeah, something like that. I've got to Google like one of these days. Yeah, check out.
That doesn't make sense. 3 million
Yeah,
bucks for a camel?
yeah,
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the camel market, but that seems like a bit rich to me.
yeah. It
Anyways,
seems a bit, like well. But anyways, if I probably would have been happy with like fraction of that amount.
right, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah, I would too. Yeah, absolutely. But well, getting back to employment, I mean, we do help folks with jobs worldwide, South America, North America, Europe, Middle East, Asia. You've been all over the place. Where to this time around? Where do you want to go?
Well, I'm open to returning to the Middle East where, it's nice and warm and familiar with, things there. Or, I could do like, I was looking at China well. I haven't been there, but I I do see, like, a lot of opportunities there. So it's either, you know, back to Middle East or China, maybe Singapore or something like that. I wouldn't mind doing Korea again. Um, so
Ha-
yeah,
have you have you been to China before or not?
nope,
Not
haven't
yet.
done this. Not yet. That's on my
Okay.
bucket list.
Okay, I think China would be a good idea. Let's see here. I got you on Skype. So I guess what I can do is I'll give you a few of my China people just get the ball rolling. Um, uh, like I said, there's two options I could offer you. Number one, I could definitely do China and put you in touch with my China people, and they could say, okay, what about this, or what about that, and what about this. But also, if you want to employ me, I can go to work for you. We for anything in addition to that, we would require an application fee of 150 as collateral. In all cases, commission is paid for by your school, but like I said, because we have to invest a lot of time and effort getting folks paired up with schools, getting visas, we do require an application fee. But like I said, the China part is free. Like I said, it'll take me 2 minutes to get that set up for you. I have no qualms about that. So would you want to just stick with the free stuff, or would you want me to look and work on getting you other stuff outside of China as well for 150, or what do you think?
Well, right now right now I'm in a bit of a pickle because my former employer in Saudi Arabia, they were supposed to do two things. I worked overtime last term, and they paid it to my bank account in Saudi Arabia after my bank account was closed. And it was closed because whenever you do like a final exit visa on Saudi Arabia, that causes, like the government to stop, like freeze your bank accounts that are in Saudi Arabia. So I have 4 grand, US dollars, 4 grand stuck in Saudi Arabia.
I've run it. Yeah,
Eh,
I've run into that over the years. You know, people have X number of dollars stuck in this country or that country. So you're not alone. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have friends, or do you have friends by chance as people that could help you out there in Saudi Arabia? Because you could always
Well,
give them power of attorney to do that for you. Get that
yeah,
out.
I tried that, but here's the thing. Saudi Arabia, because they're trying to employ more Saudis. My friends there who are expats like me are also getting sacked, and I'm facing the same problem
Right.
that I am. So we're all trying to help each other out. And
Okay.
and also the other problem is that yeah, we're supposed to get like a severance package as well, like, for working there X number of years. And that hasn't come yet. So yeah, so it's not only just the 4 grand, but now it's 4 grand plus, you know, the several years, 7 years, because I worked at the same place for 7 years. 7 years
Hmm.
of
Nice.
severance pay. So yeah, that's gonna be a big hunk of cha-ching. So I think now you said that China was the free thing and the other ones not so much. I think we'll have to stick with China then for now.
Yeah, we'll stick with China for now. I'll send you the policy here. You know, if you'd like me to go to work for you, but yeah, we'll just stick to China for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a few share conversations with my China people here on Skype. Well, like I said,
Okay.
it's about noon right now, so they may be at lunch or something like that. But either way, they'll get back to you as soon as possible. And they'll say, okay, what about this? What about that? What about this? And they'll arrange your interviews, get you visas, all that good stuff. But yeah, if you wanted me to, look beyond that, I'd be happy to. But then we would charge that application fee, that collateral of 150. So if it's worth it to you, I'd be happy to go to town on that. But let's just see what the China folks can do for you. Like I said, you're still young. I think we'll be just fine with China. So, uh, the only reason I throw, you know, the only reason I charge people is just if I have to make too much effort, which I don't mind, but at the same time I do have countless applications laying around on my desk. So a little bit
Yeah.
small. So do you by chance do you have a bank? Well, you got to have a bank account in China, in
I have a bank
Saudi
account in the
Arabia.
U.S., but unfortunately, I had to, pay some, certain. I had certain financial obligations,
Well,
so
I
I was
know.
really,
I
so I was
I'm
really
not I'm not
counting
I'm
on.
not. Yeah, I'm not really worried about me. I'm worried about you. You have a chunk of change.
Yeah.
150 is nothing, So, but you have a chunk change. Now, is that in with the employer in Saudi, or do you have like a Saudi bank account that's in, or what? How does that work?
Well, the Saudi bank account is closed. That automatically closed when my exit visa was issued, and then they deposited deposited my overtime pay into a bank account that was closed. And when I went to the bank, I was like, "But the account is closed. You guys say it's closed. Why can't you give me the money? How can you keep the money when it was deposited into an account that no longer exists with you guys?"
Hmm. Well,
And they just
yeah.
told me about whatever ridiculous policy they had, and I didn't get anywhere with them. And I'm like, okay, so if you can't give it to me because I have a closed bank account, I no longer have a bank account with you, why don't you return the money back to the sender?
Right. Right. And what did they say?
A-
They
And
trained
they're
down.
like, eh, but that's not our policy. I'm like, well, that your policy is retarded. Your
Yeah.
policy.
Well, you gotta
So
do
I
what you
was in
gotta
there for
do. Hmm.
yes, I was in there for like over 2 hours trying to remain calm. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to scream, so I had to leave there after 2 hours.
Hmm. Well, yeah.
And yeah, so then I went back to my employer, and I talked to the chief of operations, there, the manager, like one of the managers, and she, um, you know, she listened, and she seemed very helpful at the time, and she contacted someone who's in charge of payroll,
Hmm.
and after that conversation, heard, well, because she was on the phone when I was in her office. She said that I would get the money in a week to my U.S. and then with like to my U.S. bank account. Well, it's been 3 weeks and nothing. And then I tried emailing her a couple of times. She hasn't answered, so now I'm gonna have to try WhatsApping her. And people have also tried WhatsApping her, and she hasn't answered them. So
Hmm.
I guess she's now on silent mode.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's your own personal thing. I personally would recommend you know, try all avenues, which maybe you already have, but I would you can't be the first person in the world who try, we're going to get money out of Saudi Arabia, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can look online, get some ideas and or get yourself a lawyer that specializes in this, because I mean, that's a chunk of change,
Yep.
it's worth getting a lawyer involved if that means uh, lawyers aren't cheap, but at the same time, that's a chunk of change. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that would be something I would say look into. But at the same time, if you say it's been a few weeks, they wired it and it hasn't come in, maybe there was an issue and it bounced back to them. I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'll leave that to you. But I'm gonna have to get hopping here in a few minutes. But I'll go ahead and create those shared conversations with my China folks after we finish talking here. And yeah, uh, God willing, I pray that that works out for you and that money does land in your account. And then you can send me 150, and
Okay. Yeah.
then I can expand things even more for
Absolutely.
you. But either way, my door's always open. Like I said, you can keep me posted here on Skype, but I'll go ahead and get those group chats with my China folks. Like I said, you can just introduce yourself, just type with those group chats. Once you see I set them up, so like I said, you'll have to give me a minute or so after we finish talking. But yeah, do you have any other questions right now in general? Questions or concerns I can answer?
I can't think of any. I mean, I mean, you said, China people, that, the people that you contact you over in China. So, like, are they various different institutes, universities, colleges,
Well,
or what are they?
there are the partners. A lot of them are agents themselves, but I don't speak Mandarin, but they do.
Hmm.
So again, they're going to say, okay, what about this? What about that? What about that? So, um, yeah,
Okay.
some are going to be schools, some are just going to be agents, but there should be two or three of them that I'm going to send you. So,
Okay.
like I said, they'll just kind of take it from there, and we'll see what they have to offer. But I'll be here kind of overseeing the whole thing. So if you do have any questions or concerns about the China stuff, let me know. If you'd like to, entertain other options as well, other countries, I'd love to go to work on that as well. So just give me a holler.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions, or are you good for now?
I think I'm good. So, how long are you gonna be in the Philippines? Or are you always in the same time zone?
God only knows forever. I don't know. Until
Okay.
God decides otherwise. But I've been in the Philippines over 6 years now. Like I said, I was in
Okay.
China for about 4 years, about 5 years in Korea. I was a teacher and a recruiter at the same time. But yeah, I would never live in America these days. It's too dangerous, way too expensive. And I always tell folks, get out, get out, get out. It's like talk to it's my message. Like I'm trying to tell people, get out of the burning building, please, while you can, right?
Yeah.
The cost of living
Yeah.
will eat you alive. You're in Michigan. Go ahead.
The U.S. is like, for me, it's like just a mailing address, and like I just see my sister and my nephew. That's pretty much it for
Hmm.
me. As far as the U.S., I mean, the
Well, you've
last
been
time I,
you've lived abroad for a while. It's been
yeah,
it's been a while you've been living overseas. So I mean, the cost of living, the lifestyle, your money goes so much further, right?
yeah, like like, every time I think about, like, I see my sister stressed and my nephew stressed about how much things cost, and then when I like go to, get food, and I see how much, gas I put in the car and how much it costs, and it's like, holy poo. Um,
Hmm.
it's like, you have to be like a multimillionaire to be able to have a fairly decent life. I mean, I tried looking up, like, by when I had a job in Saudi Arabia. I tried, maybe when I get my, severance pay, I can look at this, into this again. But I was like trying to look at, a fairly moderate, middle upper class, or just middle class house, for, me, after I retire, and my sister, and my, and we could, because we're kind of close, and it's like, wow, it's like something that's not even that, you know opulent of a house. It just looks like a regular house, and it's like over $250,000.
Hmm. You're talking about yeah, you're talking about Michigan, right?
Yeah, in Michigan. I
Yeah,
mean, I could maybe get like, if it's like maybe California or something or Alaska, like, beachfront property, in someplace else. But this is like,
another
you know,
country.
this is
Yeah,
like Michigan, and it's like, what's attractive about this place? That
yeah,
is $250,000.
yeah.
And
No,
then you
it's
factor in, and that's
yeah,
not
no.
including closing costs and property taxes and whatnot.
Well,
That's just like the asking price for the actual house.
well, and you take your if you have $250,000, do you want a place in Michigan, or, like for example, in Asia, you could probably buy an island in the Philippines for for $250,000. I always tell
Yeah,
folks, in the rural part of Philippines, you can probably get a two bedroom hut with a couple acres of land for about $20,000, right? And
right.
that's the thing is a lot of people will retire out here, and more power to them. And I see it not just America, but like in all over the West. But I was talking to a guy in Bangkok, an expat in Bangkok, another fellow American. He was telling me a lot of Europeans, with the war and all that stuff, the cost of living has gotten insane in in uh,
Hmm.
in Asia, and a lot of them have been coming to Phuket and in Thailand, stuff like that, just because the cost of living is so much lower, versus, having to pay, $500 a month on electric and gas. I mean, versus, going and living in the Philippines and paying $50 a month for all that, right?
Right.
And yeah, yeah, and you can pocket the other 450 and enjoy yourself, right? Live a good
Right.
life, retire, right? And
Yeah.
so the trend keeps going the way it is. I would say, yeah, go and retire somewhere else in the world. And it's getting so dangerous in America too, with the guns and
Hmm.
the attitudes and the guns. Like, I don't think I don't think guns are necessarily bad things. But I always tell people, guns don't kill people. People kill people. I never had guns growing up. I was never a big gun nut or anything. Neither was my
Hmm.
dad. But you know, I understood. For protection and or hunting and stuff like that. Okay, I can see where that. Okay, they want to do that, fine. But now I'm just like, man, almost everybody's got a gun. I think there's more guns than Americans now, or something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody's got an attitude, and I talk to people. I see I can have kind of a civil conversation pretty much with you, but you spend a lot of your life overseas, and
Hmm.
unfortunately for a lot of people that are immersed in the U.S. day in, day out, year in, year out. Well, I've been living in the U.S. for the last 40 years. Unfortunately, those people are a bit immersed in that. They don't understand how the rest of the world works, and yeah, I'm just concerned about the future of America with everything that's going on. Everybody's upset, and rightfully so. Rent's insane. The cost of living's insane. But just printing a whole bunch of money and everybody every printing a whole bunch of money isn't going to fix the issue, right? It's more of a
Hmm.
moral issue, but that's a whole nother story. But anyways, yeah. What do you think? You think Michigan is doing okay, or they getting a little bit off center? What do you think?
Well, my family, and include, and also my sister, they've always lived in like small towns. I'm more of a city person myself, but not in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my sister lives in a town. It's like, it's close to Flint, but it's not Flint. It's Davison.
Mm-hmm.
So and she lives in a quiet area of Davison too. So um she's kind of a recluse, so we're kind of not um anywhere near all the, you know, um, rubbish that you hear about in like Flint or Detroit, or
Hmm.
any of the things that are notorious for like the crimes and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I don't even watch local news in Michigan. I mean, like, my mom, she would always turn on the news, and then I listened to it for like 2 minutes. I was like, okay, thank you for reminding me why I don't live in the U.S. anymore. I'm not going to listen to
Right.
that anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And everybody like in my family, because they don't live abroad and they don't like traveling, they just always are stressed about money, and rightfully so, because everything costs too much, and they don't and the salaries don't match the cost of living here.
Hmm. Right.
So it's like that's why everybody's working like two or three jobs and always getting stressed out.
Yeah.
So I don't want that kind of life. I don't want to always be stressed. You know how many hours I was working in Saudi Arabia? My class time was like 18 hours class time.
Huh.
And then,
Right.
like
A month
5 hours.
or a week?
Yeah,
A week,
a
right?
week. Yeah.
A week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a holiday compared to like what most Americans would do. And it's because like 40-hour work week,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's assuming if you have like a full-time job. But like if you have to have like two or three part-time jobs, then it's not just a 40-hour work week. It might be 40 hours at the actual workplace, but then you have to commute from job to job to job, you
Right.
know?
Right. You ever see that movie Dumb and Dumber back in the day?
Yep.
Dumb and
Oh
Dumber,
yeah.
when they say there's no jobs in this town unless you want to work 40 hours a week, right? And they just roll their eyes, just like, yeah. But that's it. Most people in America these days do that. But yeah, and I mean that was the thing too. Even when I went to Korea, and I mean, yeah, now it's like 18 hours a week. That's normal, because living abroad, it's just like a mini vacation compared to what you have to deal with in the West, in the States especially. Going from 40-hour work week to getting paid the same, if not more, and having free place stay, like in Korea for me, was like, yeah, of course. And again, I've been in Asia over 16 years now. I'm like, why would I go back to America? Why would I go back to St. Louis and maybe get shot and work at a bank and be miserable? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'll stay overseas. Thank you very much. And live happily ever after, right?
Especially
So,
Philippines. Yeah. Yeah. Philippines is
um,
beautiful.
absolutely. Philippines, Asia, in general. I mean, again,
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself when I was in Korea. I enjoyed myself. There's always pros and cons. There were some things that a lot of political bullcrap that I was not a big fan of, like being in a communist country when I was in China. But the kids are beautiful and you get paid well and blah blah blah. It was good experience. I was there for almost 4 years, so you know,
Yeah.
and I'm Catholic, so I was able to go to mass and stuff. Once again, I was kind of able to go to mass. They have the Chinese Patriarch Church in China, but it's like half Catholic, half political bullcrap, and I'm like, okay, better than nothing. But I was I
Yeah.
was I was very happy to go to the Philippines. Uh, and again, whether somebody's religious or not, that's their own personal thing. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's what I enjoyed. So, anyways, I better get hopping here, but it was lovely to
Okay.
talk to you.
Yeah. No,
And
it's
I'll
great
go ahead and
chatting with
get,
you.
yeah, I'll go ahead and get the China thing worked out. And I'll let you keep knocking on that door, and God willing, I'll say a little prayer. Hopefully, you can get your money out of Saudi Arabia, and everything works out. But yeah, is there, yeah, do you have any other pressing questions right now? Questions or concerns? Are you good for now?
I think I'm good for now.
All right.
Oh wait, how cold is it in China? Well, I guess it depends on what, because China's a very big country, isn't it?
It is. It
Um,
is. It's a very big country, and that's something you could
so
think about. Well, that's something you can think about. You don't have to tell me because I mean the people I'm going to give you are going to have stuff all over China. So you can kind of look at what they have, and or as they come online, you guys begin talking. You can kind of narrow things down based on your preferences, where you would like to teach. What would
Hmm.
be ideal. So, in
Any
fact,
place that's like
yeah,
dry and desert like? I
yeah,
mean,
I may, yeah. Go ahead.
China does have a desert, doesn't it? I mean, the Gobi Desert, isn't it? Or is that?
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
big one up north. Yeah, absolutely. But China's about the size of the U.S. So it's a big country. So
Yeah.
you go up north to like Harbin or Beijing, it's gonna be cold. But if you go down
Hmm.
south like Guangzhou or Shenzhen, it's gonna be warm pretty much year round. Not as much as the Philippines though. Like I said, you've been here, but yeah, it's pretty much warm year round. There's no real seasons. It's beautiful year round, but I pretty much stay inside because it is hot and humid year round. So me and the air conditioner hang out. That was one of God's greatest inventions, I think, was the air conditioner. I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take it. But all right, well, young ladies, so like I said, you can kind of decide. I'm sure we'll talk more. You got me here on Skype. So let me go ahead and get you set up with China folks, and then you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and of course keep me posted here. Do you have any other questions? Are you good for now?
I think I'm good for now.
All right. Well, like
Yeah.
like I said, I'm right here. If you have anything else, my door is always open. I'm available anytime you see me online, and even when I'm offline. If you have any questions, just type them. I'll go ahead and get back to you as soon as I can. But just a little bit swamped with applications. It might be a bit delayed, but let's go ahead and get China set up for you. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 China people just because I know not everyone's going to be up because again, it's lunchtime. So, but anyways, you can go ahead and just introduce yourself to the people I said give you in the group. So, of course, keep me posted. My door's always open, and I'll message you here in a minute or so once I get those group chats set up for you, so you can
All
get
right
started
then.
on those. But yeah, let's see what you can do, see what we can do, and we'll get this going. All right,
All right.
all right. Give me a minute. All right, hold on.
Okay. Holding.